Memorial service last night in Washington, D.C. for the 6 hostages.
Okay, and good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. I'm Ken Lundberg. It is, what are we looking at? Wednesday. I love these weird short weeks.
I don't love them.
But they do sure confuse me.
They throw everything off.
Yeah, the scheduling must be tough. I mean, because you've got sorry, let me formally introduce. Jeff Street is here with Boss Services. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been a morning, with these weird weeks. But does the holiday week screw up your scheduling for work and that kind of thing?
It doesn't really screw up the scheduling. It messes up my personal, just internal clock is off for a day.
Same here.
Yesterday was the Mondayest Tuesday we've had in a while.
Feels like a Monday. Yeah. No, that's great. But you're here to talk about the 9/11 Hero Climb, so we'll do that. But we also want to learn a little bit more about you and understand what's happening in the area with Boss Services. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. And anything else you want to talk about? You said ask any random thing that's in your brain, and my brain's not going crazy. One of the things that we came up with, I'll wait to talk about this, but did you see this? The Taylor Swift, I don't know if it's fake or not, but people are saying, what is this? Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce representatives are now having to deny that they have a public relations strategy for a breakup that's set to happen in September. Right before the football season gets in full swing. So
how are the Chiefs going to do without her?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the crowds, they're going to miss out on the Taylor Swift fans.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they haven't broken up. They say there's nothing to it. It's all fake, but they're getting press on it. So we'll see. All right. We'll be back in just a moment with some news from the WSJM newsroom. Thanks for tuning in on the video live stream. We'll be back with some more exclusive content in a few minutes.
Fraud charges filed against a former top aide to New York Governor Kathy Hochul. ABC's Aaron Katersky says Linda's son is accused of acting as an agent for China. Some of the allegations include trying to make changes to official statements.
Even small details like word changes, like references to Taiwan or the portrayal of China in official statements or documents, seemingly small, innocuous things, but federal prosecutors say they warranted those criminal charges and were significant enough to the Chinese that they were willing to pay millions of dollars in kickbacks.
Less than a week after being shot in the chest during a robbery, San Francisco 49ers rookie Ricky Pearsall paying a visit to the team's training facility. This is his teammate, Jake Brendel.
Absolutely amazing what happened, to be honest. I mean, it's a 1 in 100, 1 in 200, 1 in 300 chance of surviving that sort of injury.
He's expected to miss at least 4 games. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Bills piling up? Rent due? Need cash help but have bad or no credit? Then you need to go to FastLoansAI.com, where you can get approved for a loan of up to $10,000 regardless of your credit score. FastLoansAI.com is one of the largest lender networks. Their advanced technology can help anyone get up to $10,000. Best part? Money can be in your bank account as fast as the same day. When you need fast cash, go to FastLoansAI.com. That's FastLoansAI.com.
Looking for an opportunity to reach your full potential? Look no further than Lake Michigan College. With a wide range of programs including nursing, business, and technology, they provide the education and support you need to succeed. Their experienced faculty and staff are committed to helping you achieve your goals, whether you're just starting out or looking to take your career to the next level. Connect to your future today. Visit lakemichigancollege.edu.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is News Talk Sports 94.9. WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. Depend on us. WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And it's 7:05. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ken Lundberg. 54 degrees and clear skies in Benton Harbor right now. 56 over in St. Joe and 52 and clear skies in South Haven. Some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom this morning. The Berrien County Sheriff's Department is reminding drivers of some tips to keep in mind now that the new school year is underway. You're probably seeing the buses out there right now. Sheriff Chuck Hite tells us it's illegal to pass a school bus when it's stopped with red flashing lights.
So the first offense is a civil infraction for passing a school bus. If the passing of a school bus results in any type of crash or injury, those fines and penalties are increased.
Haidt says drivers should also proceed with caution if a school bus has its yellow lights flashing for a hazard stop.
Sometimes they'll do what they call a hazard stop. They'll pull off with the hazards on, and you still want to go slowly around that. It's not something that requires you to stop, but it is something just to be cautious. Anytime a school bus is in the area, just to be aware, because you never know where the stop is, when they may activate their lights, and just to be cautious.
Haidt notes kids can go darting around the front of a rear of a bus, so drivers should always exercise caution when they're near the school buses. Violations of the law on passing school buses can come with a fine between $100 and $500. The fine is doubled for unlawfully passing a stopped school bus if it occurs in a school zone, which is anywhere within 1,000 feet of a school property line. Haidt also reminds drivers to ditch distractions when behind the wheel. Remember, it's now illegal to hold a cell phone while driving. The Berrien County Parks Department is inviting the public to offer its thoughts on the latest Berrien County Parks 5-year plan. Parks Director Jill Adams tells us it outlines development goals for each of the county's 7 parks.
It does help us kind of plan out what we are going to do, think about how to budget for those improvements to the parks, and keep us on track. And we have a lot of ideas, a lot of great things currently happening, and a lot of improvements in mind.
The county must have a 5-year parks plan to qualify for state grants. Adams says there are a few key priorities outlined in the draft plan.
Trail improvement and trail expansion have been a hot topic for us for quite some time now. And with the efforts that the Friends of Berrien County Trails have put forth in a county-wide trail plan, we are excited to be a part of that.
Adams says the new plan is built upon the previous 5-year plan. The Parks Department will hold 2 open houses this month to explain its plans to residents and get their suggestions. The first will be September 18 from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Madeline Bertrand County Park in Niles. The second open house will be September 19th from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the County Administration Center in St. Joseph. You can bring your parks information to that meeting and find out what they're doing and give your input as well. And the Friends of the Niles District Library and History Center are teaming up to bring a new travel exhibit about a prominent figure in U.S. history. The Frederick Douglass Advocate for Equality exhibit will explore Douglass's life and impact through his own words and photographs from the Gilder Lehrman collection. History Center Director Christina Arsenault said this would be a good way to talk about history as well as highlight the importance of voting.
We want to bring attention to some of the history, of course. And again, it's important to remind people that people worked really hard to fight for all of these rights, and there were a lot of challenges along the way. And so it's really important that we keep them, we keep their stories alive, and that we use those stories today to make a positive difference in what we do every day.
On the opening day of the exhibit, September 9th, Arsenault will present Activism and Art, a program which explores the life of artist and activist Lottie Wilson, who was a Niles native and good friends with Douglass's wife, Anna.
We have that connection here locally, and so we thought that would be interesting to talk about how they were connected and how this area played a role in civil rights on the national.
Both the exhibit and the program are free of charge. The exhibit will be displayed in the library's rotunda starting September 9th, and it will run through October 4th. One final news story to cover. The Buchanan City Commission has received 3 applicants for a vacancy created by the recent resignation of Mayor Sean Dennison. The city says Scott King, Raquel George, and Tony Hauser have all applied to serve out the remainder of Dennison's term, which expires in 2026. The deadline to apply was August 30th. With applications for the vacancy now in, the city commission will choose one candidate to be appointed to fill out the remainder of Dennison's term. Dennison resigned in August following a period of controversy when he placed the former city manager on administrative leave. A recall effort against Dennison ended with his resignation. That's a look at some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom today. It is 7:10 and 54 degrees in Benton Harbor. I'm Ken Lundberg. This is the WSJM Morning Show. And in fact, we are going to begin our interview in just a moment with Jeff Street. He's from Boss Services, and he is the main organizer of the 9/11 Hero Climb. So good morning, Jeff. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Excellent. We're going to learn all about you. I'm going to ask you again if you want coffee, just in case, because I've got mine. We've got a machine out there with pods in it. You're welcome to it. And we'll learn a little bit about you, about Boss Services, and about the 9/11 Hero Climb. That's coming up in just a moment. Sound good?
Awesome.
Coffee? You want some coffee?
Probably.
All right, we'll talk about it right here on WSJM.
In Major League Baseball, Paul Skeens pitched 5 effective innings to lead the Pittsburgh Pirates over the Chicago Cubs 5-0. The Cubs have lost 2 straight at home after winning 6 in a row on the road. The Cubs and Pirates meet again tonight at 7:40 on the north side. Baltimore's Cade Povich struck out 10 while pitching into the 8th inning to lead Baltimore over the White Sox 9-0. The Sox have lost 12 straight and became the first team since 1900 with at least 3 losing streaks of 12 games or more. The White Sox are back in Baltimore tonight at 6:35. And the Tigers were off last night. They're in San Diego tonight at 9:40, a 9:15 pregame show on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM. WNBA, A'ja Wilson had 30 points and 14 rebounds to lead Las Vegas over Chicago 90-71. Chicago has lost 7 straight, and with the loss by Chicago and Atlanta, the Indiana Fever clinch a playoff spot. Indiana is hosting LA tonight at 7 o'clock. And last night in Midwest League Baseball, West Michigan over Lansing 5-4. And Fort Wayne beat South Bend 6-5.
All right. Sorry we had to go grab some coffee. It's brewing right now, so Jeff will step out in a moment to get it again. But yeah, I know. I don't know why they give you so many options on a coffee maker this time of day.
Well,
right?
They should only give you the biggest one, but sometimes your cup can't handle that.
Yeah. and there's a button on there that says, "Do you want it strong?" It's like,
yeah.
Duh.
Well, I don't understand how they make it stronger either. I mean, I'm not a pod expert, but how do you make coffee stronger?
That's a really good point.
It's the same amount of coffee in
I
the
mean,
pod.
do they change the brew time? Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck they do. That's a good question. That's
One
good.
of life's mysteries.
We're talking with Jeff Street from Boss Services here, and I can tell we're going to have a good conversation. So we'll start that in just a moment. Your coffee's probably ready. So if you want to grab that, you can do that and come back in because we're going to start the interview in about 60 seconds.
Does
that work?
Yeah, now it's a lot of pressure.
No pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. I gotta get everything ready in 60 seconds.
Don't spill it or anything like that. So we'll be right back and start that interview. All right. Well, let's take a quick look at the weather forecast because we did promise you some weather. Mostly sunny and warm today, a high around 80. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast mostly clear, low around 58. Southeast winds 5 miles per hour. And then Thursday, mostly sunny and warm, a 40% chance of rain at night. High around 85 on Thursday and south winds 5 to 15. Going to be cloudy and breezy on Friday with a 60% chance of rain. High around 75 and a low around 63. I don't have a projection out for the 11th of September, but boy, last year it sure was rainy.
It was. I mean, the rain was. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It didn't make anything slippery or anything. But,
good. That's good.
Yeah, I did look ahead, and it looks like it's going to be a mild day with some sunshine.
All right. So we'll look forward to that. We're talking with Jeff Street. He's from Boss Services, and we're here today to talk about the 9/11 Hero Climb that Boss Services, Honor Credit Union, and others are bringing forward, including local emergency responders. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, we want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to people who may not know you. So who is Jeff Street?
Yeah, Jeff Street. I am the owner of Boss Services. I'm from this area. I spent my early childhood in Benton Harbor and middle school and high school in Dowagiac. And then I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps and came back here to create Boss Services with my brother.
20 years in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I went in open contract, which if you are thinking about joining the military, don't do that. That's where they pick
We
the job
need military.
for you.
Oh, don't
Well,
do the open contract piece.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, yeah, sorry,
got it.
yes, definitely serve. But open contract means they'll pick a job for you.
Okay.
So they did. They picked artillery mechanics. So
Nobody wants to do artillery mechanics.
Well, that just was the need at the time.
Yeah.
And it was it's a mechanic, but you only work on one weapon system, one big, it's 155 millimeter, towed howitzer.
Wow.
So it's a giant gun.
Yeah.
But it's really boring to do that your entire career. I mean, that's it. Like, hey, what am I going to do today? I'm going to fix this gun.
Oh,
Looks
wow.
just like the other 10 in the shop. So yeah, I changed jobs to explosive ordnance disposal. So, which is basically the military's bomb squad. So
Wow.
anything from a 50 caliber bullet to a nuclear warhead is what I went to school for.
Holy
So,
mackerel.
yeah. And
Did you ever discern any nuclear warheads that you can tell us about?
just in training.
Okay.
yeah. Have not had the opportunity.
Okay,
Well, yeah,
good.
it turns out you don't actually get to do that. You get to secure the scene and call in people that train for that every day.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
Yeah.
That must have been fascinating.
It was really good. I mean, over the 20 years, I have done a ton of Secret Service support because the Secret Service does not have their own bomb squad. So
Okay.
I worked at the White House for 30 days
Okay.
as their response
Wow.
force.
Under which president?
Obama was in office at
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
I've done details for every president from Jimmy Carter through Trump. I worked
kidding.
Trump's inauguration right before I retired.
Okay.
So I've done all that. I've done there's a command in Hawaii called the Joint POW MIA Full Accounting
Yes.
Command. I've done
Familiar.
2 missions for them. So I've recovered remains from plane crashes in Germany
Wow.
and Laos. So people can be taken off the MIA list and given a proper burial.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been I've done a lot in
Yeah.
20 years, and then I've got, three combat tours, but that's the least exciting of most of what I've done. Yeah.
Okay. The recovery of the MIA remains. What was that like? What was the procedure going in Germany and Laos? I imagine they were probably a little bit different.
They were, yeah. So Germany, the first site we dug 2 sites in Germany, and the first site, the pilot's daughter actually did the research and brought everything to the command and said, "Hey, I found where my father was shot down, and I believe it's in this farmer's field." So then they took over and they coordinated, the dig site and all that. And we went over there, and it was a small team. And the pilot's daughter flew out and met us there on her own dime. And she stayed at the hotel with us, and she came to the work site every day with us. And it's set up like an archaeological dig site. So there's an archaeologist on each team. And then there's somebody, there's specialties. I was there as the explosives expert in case we found live ordnance.
Okay.
And
Yeah, because you're thinking about it, it's a military plane crash site, and so there's probably live ordnance somewhere scattered around there.
the plane. So the plane was shot down, and it was in East Germany. It was shot down doing a strafing run on a railroad, and so it crashed into a field, caught on fire. So we found the charred plane, the hulk of it. We've recovered some bone fragments. Some uniform items. There's a flight specialist out there, so he knows everything that that pilot had with him, the type of flight suit, everything. And we recovered enough bone fragments to positively ID that pilot. So he was given a burial at Arlington later that year.
That's great.
Yeah.
That closure for the family especially must
Huge.
be a big deal. And Laos, what was that one like?
That was a cargo plane that was shot down during the Vietnam War.
Okay.
Middle of the jungle, so deep in the jungle that we had to take helicopters to the site every day.
Wow.
And we could only fit one of the 4-person helicopters. So we had to do like 3 trips to get the whole team out there.
Oh my goodness.
And again, it's gridded off and it's dug square by square, and every inch of dirt goes through screens, and they separate, the plane wreckage from everything else and the bone fragments and all that stuff. And we were the first mission of probably 3 to dig that entire site. We did find there was 8 crew members on that plane. We did find a lot of bone and a couple teeth, but we didn't finish that site. So that went on for another year. Probably they had to return a couple more times to finish that site.
Amazing. I mean, and you think about, they talk about the fog of war. I've never served in the military, so I don't know. But fog of war, you don't know exactly what's happening, where it's. I mean, everything goes great for the plan until you actually have to execute the plan, and then who knows what's going to happen right then and there. And then to go find decades later, the remains of somebody, a loved one. That's amazing work.
It is. It's probably one of the most rewarding things I've done.
Yeah.
Just to be able to check somebody's name off of that list and give closure to a family.
Yeah. And Hawaii was okay too, right?
I was stationed in Hawaii twice. I lived in Hawaii for probably a total of 8 years.
That's nice.
It was rough. It was real rough.
Yeah. I mean, the weather forecast there, the meteorologist must be really bored.
Yeah.
Today it's going to be clear and 80.
Yeah, exactly.
Tonight it'll be about 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, good. We're talking with Jeff Street from Boss Services, and you're here today to talk about an event that's upcoming. It's the 9/11 Hero Climb. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that is, and we'll explore more.
So yeah, the 9/11 Hero Climb this is the 4th year that it's happened. The 2nd year that Boss has put it on, and we're going to meet and we're going to climb the steps. We're going to climb 2,071 steps at the high school stadium on September 11th, and it is raising money for Berrien County Fire Departments. So that's the main goal.
Yeah, at Dickinson Stadium.
Dickinson Stadium, yes.
And you got involved in this at least a couple of years ago. And why did you choose this effort for local law enforcement?
Well,
emergency responders.
Yeah, so it started with Matt Malone. He created this
from Midwest Family. Yep.
Yeah, from Midwest Family when he was on Y Country. So he started this, and we took it over after he moved.
Yeah.
And it just it was like one of those great things that nobody in the area did that really just seemed like a great event. And so we wanted to take it over. We wanted to grow it, and we wanted to make it an annual event that can raise money for our local heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, and it does. And last year's climb, even though it was torrential rain, I remember because we had Sheriff Paul Bailey here in the studio, and I said, "You sure you can stay another couple minutes?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, it's raining pretty hard out there." but rain or shine, it'll go on.
It will, yeah. And we're still thankful for the St. Joe High School for hosting it there, because it is an amazing venue to do it at the stadium.
Yeah.
And even like say it was raining last year, but the stadium steps weren't really slippery.
Yeah.
I'm not a concrete guy, but whoever did that concrete did a great job.
Outstanding. I want to ask you a little bit more about this event. We're going to talk about it with Jeff Street. He's from Boss Services. We're talking about the 9/11 Hero Climb, and we'll talk more about that. I also want to ask you where you were on 9/11, because that anniversary is coming up. We'll talk about that in just a few moments right here on WSJM. Okay. That is what a career in the military. 20 years. Let's see. You started under which administration?
Let's see, 97. Who was that? Bush.
Was it? Okay. So
Senior, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is that right?
After Clinton, yeah.
Clinton.
No.
Bush Jr.
Bush Jr. It was Bush, Clinton, Bush.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bush, Clinton, Bush.
Jr.
And then so Bush Jr. So George W.
Yep.
And then so 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? 4, 5? 5? 4. My math is really bad, but
I'm not good at anything like that. Was it Bush?
You had Bush,
Obama,
and then you had Obama,
Trump.
and then you had Trump, and then you had Biden.
Yeah, but I got out before Biden.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it. So during that time in service, how did you eventually got off the big artillery?
Yeah.
How long were you servicing the artillery, and what was the most interesting location you were at?
Well, so that was my first job.
Yeah.
I went to Maryland for that school, and then they when you're in school, they say, "Where do you want to go?" You fill out this wish list. And I said, "I want to go to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina because it's closest Marine Corps base to my family here."
Okay.
So they sent me to Hawaii. So, yeah, 'cause why not?
Nice. Yeah, it's the Marines.
But I love that place, so I was super grateful that they did.
Yeah.
So I did that for 3 years, and then I was going to reenlist actually, and I was going to reenlist in artillery to continue on. I was a E4 at the time, and I went to a breakfast. We did a company breakfast for just in the Marine Corps, they call them NCOs, non-commissioned officers. So it's the E4s, E5s. So we did a breakfast once a month, and we had a guest speaker in. So we went to this breakfast, and the guest speaker was an EOD tech who had just come back from North Korea, recovering remains on one of the missions there. And I thought, that's amazing. I've never even heard of these guys.
Yeah.
I want to do this. So I went over and talked to them, and it's one of, I think, 2 jobs in the Marine Corps that you have to interview to get into, and you have to be accepted. You can't just go there out of boot camp.
Okay.
And it's one of 2 jobs that is voluntary. You can actually quit that job. You can't quit the Marine Corps. They will reassign you. You finish your contract, but you can quit the job.
Yeah.
It's one of the very few that you can. So I went over and I interviewed, and they accepted me. And so I went that route instead of continuing on in artillery. And I did that for 16 years.
Wow. What is that? I mean, how many cases a year would you say that crew is working on?
They do. Oh man, that command. I think they probably do. They have to do 8 missions a year, and each mission has usually 4 recovery teams and 1 investigation team.
And that speaks to just how detailed and how deep and how long it takes, not just the finding and the recovery, the archaeological type dig you were talking about, but working with the governments.
It's a lot. It's working with the governments. It's it's working with the locals. So there's labor laws in different countries that you have to follow. So we went to Germany. We were not allowed to hire workers. Because it's German. Well, I say that we could have at German rates, which the command doesn't have a budget for. So
pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we went to Laos, we hired an entire village, 50 workers for 2 bags of rice.
Whoa.
So
Gee whiz.
So there's different.
Yeah.
So these guys came out of the jungle. We're deep in the jungle. And these guys just come out of the jungle. I'm like, they don't have roads connected to their village. Their village is secluded out there. So we gave them 2 50-pound bags of rice every day, and it fed their entire village. So they were happy to do the work.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. We've got more of this fascinating conversation coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Shares saw a record-setting $279 billion drop after the Justice Department sent subpoenas to NVIDIA and other companies, an escalation of its investigation into the dominant provider of AI chips. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
I tell you what, if you were not listening on the video live stream today, you're missing out, because we're getting a fascinating insight into some of the military recovery missions that Jeff Street had taken part in during his 20 years as a Marine. 20 years as a Marine. That's commitment.
It went by fast.
What was your first sign up for? 2 years, 4 years?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. And after 4 years, you didn't figure it out, huh?
No.
No.
No. I graduated high school, and I'll tell you, high schools right now are so much better than when I was there.
In which ways?
They have career fairs now.
Yes.
And they don't tell you that you have to go to college or you're going to work a dead-end job your whole life.
Right.
So they tell you that there's options. I go to career fairs now and promote the trades, and there's other companies out there too doing the same, and it's great. So when I was graduating, though, I thought I had to go to college, or I'd just work fast food my whole life.
Yeah, college, military, or ditch digger was what my dad used to say.
Yes. Yep. So it's funny,
which is pretty lucrative these days.
Yeah, my brother went HVAC, and he's been doing that his whole life, and I joined the Marine Corps. But I wanted to be a state trooper. But you needed to have college or military for that. So I thought, well, I'll just go do 4 years in the Marine Corps. and then I'll come back and be a state trooper. But then after 4 years, I didn't really want that anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll continue this interview. We're going to talk more about the 9/11 Hero Climb in just a moment. And we'll talk a little bit about Boss Services. We'll give you a chance to plug your business as well. So we'll talk about that, what kind of services you can get from there. Jeff Street from Boss Services. That conversation continues in just a moment. We're going to get to some news here. We've got ABC News and a few other things coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And it's 54 degrees, and we're looking at clear skies, and it's going to begin a sunny day here in Benton Harbor, 54, 56 in St. Joseph, 52 in Dowagiac right now, and also 52 in Buchanan. Again, the forecast for today, mostly sunny and warm, a high around 80, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, mostly clear, a low of 58 with some southeast light winds. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm, a 40% chance of rain at night, high around 85, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Some of the news that we're following this morning from the WSJM Newsroom: Benton Harbor City Commissioners are pledging to work with their community partners to address wayward young people in the community. At the City Commission's regular meeting Monday, commissioners heard from Pastor Maurice McAfee of Bethel Baptist Church, who said problems are ranging from loud music to racing vehicles to violence. No news there. But he said youth who commit serious crimes shouldn't be let off the hook, and he wants to see some changes so that commissioners and other lawmakers can avoid making tough decisions. He wants them to hold youth accountable. So we'll talk about that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, it's the end of an era in South Haven. Have you ever been, Jeff, to Sherman's?
I've not. I saw the news story, but I've not been there.
Yeah, you got to go. They're going to be open until, I think, mid to late October.
Yeah.
Probably until the ice cream. Then, they've been a tradition for 66 seasons. Wow. Yeah, the last time Stephanie and I went by there was a line like way out the door and on, because it is a popular place. It's a popular staple of the South Haven community and the region. Closing their doors, Sherman's Dairy Bar announced on social media yesterday that 2024 will be their last season. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. And then one other thing, the Berrien County Health Department is offering a walk-in clinic this month to help children get back on track with back-to-school immunizations. School has already started, so if you're in one of those schools and you don't have an excuse, you may not have your child in school right now. Jeff, favorite ice cream flavor? Are you an ice cream aficionado?
I do love ice cream.
Favorite flavor?
My go-to is mint chocolate chip.
That's good stuff. You like that Moose Tracks stuff?
I'm not a fan. I don't
really.
I'm not a heavy chocolate fan.
Oh wow. I used to not be a heavy chocolate fan. Now I'm a chocolate heavy fan. So, all right, we've got more news coming up. We'll continue our interview with Jeff in just a moment.
The Michigan News Network.
All right, continuing our interview with Jeff Street, Boss Services. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Yeah.
Are you a morning person?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I am. I'm a morning and night person. It's the middle of the day that gets me. Yeah. Like if I could take a nap every day for like an hour in the middle of the day, it'd be magical.
Oh man. I've gone through periods in my life where I have taken up the habit of a midday nap, and it usually has to do with morning shifts like this one, because I'm getting up at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm here by 4 a.m. and doing news and stuff like that, which I love. I love the mornings. But boy, by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, if I've had some carbs and I sit down and stop moving, it's like, you know. But and then I'm back up again. But I mean, what time do you usually get going?
I usually get up at 6.
Okay.
And I'm up until usually 11 o'clock at night.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm up at 6. So yeah.
You got to get some more sleep. 7 hours a day is what they're talking about.
Yeah. You know, I had the Marine Corps has done a million different things, and one of them was a sleep scientist that worked for NASA did a tour, and he said everybody's body is different. 8 hours is the average.
Okay.
Everybody's body is different.
Okay.
But your body's sleep is like a checking account.
Okay.
You can
bank it. Oh, okay.
But eventually it's going to catch up. So if you short yourself on sleep for 2-3 days, a week, whatever, you're going to crash and it's going to catch up.
Ooh.
So, and that's what, like he talked for an hour and a half, and that's what stuck with me. But I need roughly 6 to 7 hours. That's what I've learned.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. So his contention is it's like a banking account, bank account, so you can overdraft, or you can build a surplus or something, but not too much either way.
Definitely
Probably.
I've tried to build a surplus, it didn't work. But I've definitely overdrafted it more than once.
Oh my goodness. All right. We're continuing the conversation here. One of the things that I want to talk about on the air, but let's talk about it here right now as well for people on the video live stream, is the volunteers. You need volunteers for the 9/11 Hero Climb.
We do. So we're setting up on the 10th at 6 p.m., about 6 to 9 p.m. We need volunteers for that. So if anybody that doesn't want to, come out in the middle of the day, but wants to come out in the evening and help set up the evening of the 10th. And then, the morning of, we have, metal tents and refreshment tents and stuff like that. So, or sign up tents, we're doing same day signups.
Okay.
So we need people to work those too. So if, and just safety observers too, traffic control, all that good stuff. So if you want to volunteer, we need help.
You need volunteers. And what's the best way to volunteer again?
The easiest way is to send an email to jeff.street@bosshvac.com.
Okay.
Or hit us up on our Facebook, send us a message, and I'll send you over the info on sign up and get your name on the list.
Okay. So the best way is the most direct route is jeff.street@bosshvac.com.
Yep.
That's just HVAC.com. Or you can go to their Facebook page like you just mentioned, or you can call Boss Services if you're interested in volunteering as well.
Yeah, Kaylee or Grace will we'll collect your info and get it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And let's see. Let me make sure. This is the behind the scenes stuff, so I get to do computer work at the same time. How's the coffee? Is it good?
It's good. 8 ounces is what your cup's full.
So I hit right at the rim.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would not try the 10.
We were talking earlier today about your news habits. You want to talk a little bit about your news habits?
Sure. Yeah.
What tell us, what kind of news are you consuming these days?
So when I was active duty, I
Yeah.
consumed everything. I was in Okinawa before I retired.
Okay.
So the political climate
You've seen
was
the world, man.
Yeah.
Germany, Laos, Okinawa, Hawaii.
I've done some travel.
Is there any continent you've not been on?
I was looking at jobs in Antarctica before I moved back here. I
Talk about cooling.
Yeah. I almost filled out applications to go to Antarctica for a season.
Wow. Okay.
But I was
Sorry.
married.
But you were saying news.
sidetracked. So so I followed the news every day there. So North Korea was the biggest one because that was my focus.
Yeah.
But so I followed all that, and then the political environment and all. And when I retired, I just stopped. I don't have anything that's not a streaming service at my house, so I have to deliberately watch something at home.
Yeah.
And my social media, I just kept hitting hide and unfollow for so long that now it knows I don't want to watch anything. So if it's not a Midwest family news story from one of the stations, from Moody on the Market is probably the ones that pop up the most.
Yeah.
I don't see the news. So
Wow.
I just consume a little bit of local news and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. I think a lot of people are like that. And increasingly we're seeing the younger generation turn off their social media just because of everything that's out there. And I like that you're staying locally informed, because that continues to be one of our niches is there's no one else out there that's providing the coverage we do of our community.
Right.
And so, I mean,
I'll tell you, ignorance is bliss. I didn't believe it. Like the amount of
remember that time
fear-mongering.
the Martians landed? That was so cool.
Sure. Yeah.
No,
I went to work that day.
It's the same day for me. Yeah. No, that's great. There was that we laughed, but there was that whole spate of I think it was during the tail end of the Trump administration when they were talking about, oh yeah, there's alien evidence. So we've got all, and it almost felt like they were preparing the nation for some kind of big announcement, and then all of a sudden it just went away again.
Yeah.
and it stayed buried. So anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, we've got more. Let's continue talking with Jeff Street from Boss Services in just a moment.
TBH.com.
Lots of sun today with highs in the upper 70s. Skies stay mostly clear tonight with lows in the upper 50s. Another day with lots of sun tomorrow, getting a little warmer. Highs Thursday in the low 80s. Scattered showers move in late Thursday with an incoming front. Rain will likely last into early Friday morning. Cooler behind the front, highs Friday low 70s, then low to mid 60s heading into the weekend. Lake effect rain showers possible on Saturday. I'm WSBT 22 meteorologist Jessica Burns.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. Welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. It's about 19 minutes before 8 o'clock. We'll have our ABC News at 8 o'clock, as well as our WSJM News from the newsroom there. We're talking this morning with Jeff Street from Boss Services, and it's the 9/11 Hero Climb. The Hero Climb is coming up next week. It's going to be on the 11th. Tell us more details about what's going on. And then also we want to cover the volunteer ask again, please.
Yeah, it's coming up fast. There's a lot of planning that has went into it, and it's on the 11th. And it begins at 8:46 a.m., which is the time that the plane struck the first tower.
Yeah.
And we are going to climb the 2,071 steps at Dickinson Stadium in St. Joe. So the gates open at 8. We can do same morning registration. So you can do the steps, or you can do a 5K on the track, or we're also doing a 1 mile all inclusive. So strollers, all that good stuff. So anybody that wants to just do a mile on the track, you can do that too. So same day signups at the event is possible.
And why do you do this?
So we are doing this to raise money for Berrien County fire departments. So this is specifically for the fire departments. And this is the Boss Services, and Honor Credit Union is our headlining sponsor for this. So we thank them for all their support that they've put into this too.
Yep.
But this is actually the Boss Services Foundation owns this now. So we have a nonprofit dedicated to Berrien County first responders and veterans.
Nice.
And this is one of their events that they're doing. But yeah, so it's Boss puts it on with Honor this year, and hopefully in the future, Honor will continue to support us.
Yeah. And you need, you can't make it happen without a lot of support, both financially and volunteers.
Yes.
And so you need volunteers.
There is a surprising amount of manpower that goes into something like this.
Yeah.
So yes, we're doing setup on the 10th, the evening of the 10th. So if you are busy during the day in the morning on the 11th, or if you're, participating in the event, so you can't volunteer, but if you want to come out and help set up on the 10th at 6 p.m., we're going to be out there, I think, from 6 to 9,
Yep.
9:30ish, setting up. We definitely need some volunteers for that. And if you want to actually work the event instead of, I guess I say participating, working is participating.
Sure. Instead of running up and down the stairs or running around the track. Yeah.
But yeah, we need people to, work the metal booths and sign up booths and all that stuff too. So if you want to volunteer at the event, we would definitely appreciate that as well.
And it's 271 stairs. The stair climb itself
2,000.
is, 2,071 stairs at Dickinson Stadium. And that's to commemorate the number of stairs that firefighters had to climb at the World Trade Center on 9/11. Where were you on 9/11, 2001?
Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. I
What-
was in EOD school. I was,
EOD.
explosive ordnance disposal.
Okay.
I was buffing a floor that morning.
Okay.
We had just finished. So it's crazy. I just finished what we call improvised explosive device division, which was very short at the time because it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
It was, they start that division off by saying, we have never had a successful attack on U.S. soil from foreign terrorists.
Mm.
And then 2 weeks later, 9/11 happened.
That's crazy.
But yes, I was buffing a floor that day, and the instructors came out and they said, "Hey, look at this!" And they turned the news on the TV, and then everything shut down. And we had a lot of foreigners at the school. They go through a unclassified version of the school, so it's a shorter, a little bit different. But they took all the foreign students. We had probably 100 of them or so. They took all them and said, "Hey, go back to your barracks or your houses where you're staying, and just kind of lay low. We don't know what's going on." And then they got all the active duty together and they said, "Hey, we don't know what's going on. The bases are going on lockdown. Go back to your barracks. We'll call you if we need you." And it was 3 days of nobody really knowing what's going on.
Yeah. High anxiety for sure.
Yeah.
And it's ironic that you were training on IEDs.
Yeah.
Improvised explosive devices, which probably most of America had not heard of at that time.
No, nobody knew what it was. And I mean, and the term now is roadside bomb is what is probably the common term for it. But nobody really knew what it was. And there'd been a couple, obviously there's been a couple, American terrorists that
Sure.
have used them, but no foreign terrorists had ever, had a successful attack on us until then.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. And so 23 years later, the 9/11 Hero Climb is happening. It's happening on Wednesday, September 11th, and it's put on by Boss Services and Honor Credit Union and a whole lot of other folks, including local emergency personnel. And you're climbing the 2,071 steps at St. Joseph High School. There's also this is new this year, the 5K run and walk around the track, plus a 1 mile event for all abilities to participate in. It's going to be at St. Joseph High School Dickinson Stadium. For the gates open at 8 a.m. with parking in the secondary lot near Lakeview Avenue. You can register day of, or you can register prior, and you need a lot of volunteers as well.
Yeah.
And so,
Sums it up.
yeah. All right, we're going to come back with our Moody on the Market update in just a moment. We're talking with Jeff Street from Boss Services about the 9/11 Hero Climb and a whole lot more interesting stuff as well. All right, here on the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Rich Brand and Tara Causey from Insurance Management Service, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles, know it means something to have peace of mind knowing your insurance is taken care of.
We have staff that the majority of their career has been in insurance, and the majority of their career has been at IMS. They're born and raised in our community, most of our staff, or lived here a long, long time. We have clients who've been with us for 20 years, and they've been calling and talking to the same customer service agent for their home and auto for those 20 years.
I think the longevity of IMS and what Rich was just speaking to is that comfort level that business owner gets of thinking, boy, they've been in business a long, long time. So it's that trust and that sense of security that we can give to these new business owners or existing business owners.
IMS, an auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance Management Service.
IMS is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Here we go. We're back on the air. Go ahead.
I was in Hawaii in 2000. I went there in 2004.
Okay.
I left there in 2008.
Okay, so
The
you were
second
there.
time.
You were there from 2004 to 2008, and I'm trying to remember because at some point I was over there. We got to look at some missile systems over on that. I think it's Maui. Is Maui the one with a lot of the red soil? Is that right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so we were over there
Or-
looking.
Yeah, there's a
Few of them. Kauai or
There's a
something.
private island over there too. It's a Navy target island, but I've never been out there.
We weren't being shot at, so I think we were in the place where they do the shooting from, but I'm not sure. But no. Thank you for talking about your service, and thank you for your service as well.
Thank you.
20 years in the military alone, but 20 years in the Marines. You're tough.
Yeah, that's what they say.
All right. We're talking with Jeff Street from Boss Services. It's time for your Moody on the Market update. And one of the things that we love to talk about during Moody on the Market is business updates and interesting people you should know, as well as life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. But I think you fill at least a couple of those buckets, if not all three. And the Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we've been talking this morning a lot about the 9/11 Hero Climb that's coming up next week on September 11th to honor those who we lost on 9/11. And you're climbing the 2,071 stairs. But you can't put together that event not only with the financial resources and the volunteers, but behind the scenes help. So who else would you like to thank for this?
Yeah, it's a huge event, and really, Jen Wagner and Julie Laurent are the driving forces behind it. And I really appreciate all the effort that they've put into it. They're both board members for the foundation, and they've really spearheaded all of this.
Yeah, I've not met Jen, but Julie's my backdoor neighbor.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
So any time that she has information about this, she's welcome to come over and share. But yeah, we appreciate them. We appreciate you putting this on as well. Tell us a little bit about, for those who may not know, what is Boss Services? What do you do, and what's your favorite thing?
So Boss Services is heating, cooling, one-day bathroom remodels, handyman services, water heaters, water treatment, and a little bit more. So home services. We want to fix your home and make it safe and comfortable.
Excellent. And best way people to get more information about it?
Our website, thebossservices.com, talks about everything we do, or you can just call us 269-468-6682, and Grace and Kaylee will answer all of your questions.
Fantastic. Like, can you come over now?
Yeah.
I really need you now. Can you come over? No, we really appreciate learning more about you and learning more about the event and learning more about Boss Services. So thank you for coming in. Anything we missed this morning?
Man, we could talk for hours and hours. There's so much, but no, I think we covered everything on the event, which is what we're really here to talk about.
Okay. And so again, that event is coming up. Give us the deets on that.
Yeah, it's coming up September 11th. Sign up, go to runsignup.com, I think is the website, and search Boss 911 Hero Climb, and you can register for the event. So you can do the stairs, you can do the 5K, or just the 1 mile walk. There will be medals for top finishers.
Okay.
So if you are the competitive type, come out and get a medal.
Okay. Excellent. And so for more information on that, you can go to your social media site, your Facebook page as well. And it says here, last year you raised $9,000 to give to 3 different Berrien County public safety departments who were in need of life-saving equipment and gear, including City of St. Joe Fire Department, St. Joseph Charter Township Fire Department, Benton Charter Township Fire Department. So the money is raised locally and it's provided back locally as well.
It is. This year we're doing it a little different. We've put out request forms to all the fire departments, and they've put in for specific dollar amounts so we can kind of spread it farther. And then anything that doesn't get funded through the 9/11 Hero Climb, we will fund throughout the year through the foundation as funds become available. So it's not just going to end at the event.
Excellent. All right. Well, we look forward to this and many years in the future. Boss Services, thank you very much for coming in. Jeff Street has been joining us this morning. If you missed any part of this interview, just go back to our Facebook or YouTube, click on WSJM, and check out our archive videos there. We've got them up there, all of them from the beginning of time that we started doing our video. All right, Jeff, thanks for coming in. Coffee was all right?
It was okay. Yeah,
it was okay.
It's good.
It's not homemade. It's just pod stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Good enough. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got more coming up in just a few minutes.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from age.
All right. And for those of you on the video live stream, anything else?
We talked about a lot. I think
what's your favorite place in the world that you visited outside of the United States? Can't say the United States because we know that's your favorite.
I don't know. I mean, every place has its own unique charms.
That's
I
a good
think
answer.
Japan.
Yeah. You go back there?
Yeah. Well, my wife is Japanese, so
Okay.
I did meet my wife there.
Very good.
But yes, we do talk about moving back there, maybe retiring there. But I think that's probably my favorite.
My image is, from either movies or looking at through National Geographic or whatever, is just beautiful.
It is.
Just everywhere outside the major cities, and probably even the major cities, but outside it just looks gorgeous.
My wife is from Osaka, so we met in Okinawa, which is just a small island. My wife is from Osaka. We went back there during COVID and stayed with her for a year.
Wow.
Or not a year, for a month.
Yeah.
During Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Because we were homeschooling, so we could do that then.
Yeah.
So Osaka is very nice. I mean, it's a huge city, and it's nice if you like the city life.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it, but Okinawa is nice because it's more laid back in country. So
Okay.
and it's tropical.
That sounds wonderful. Sounds great.
It's the food for me. Really.
Yeah. Sushi. Do you like sushi?
I don't. So
what food do you like then?
I do like sushi. I
Okay.
don't like the raw sushi though.
Oh,
I
okay.
like
Sashimi,
the cooked and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the noodles and they have this place called Koko Ichiban, and it's amazing Japanese curry, spicy stuff.
That sounds good.
It's that place. The big they have buckwheat like soba noodles, so stuff like that. Like I like the more
Nasty.
a lot
All
more
right.
fresh foods.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, thanks for joining us. We're going to say goodbye to those of you on the video live stream. We'll see you later.
Every time.
Feel at ease with McGee's. Call today for your estimate. Feel at ease with McGee's.